Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Lance Carone here, and bringing you guys another video. We're still in the series of the 5 critical elements of a permanent transformation. Today, we are on day 3. We're talking about nutrition structure, and again, this is one where I think most people get so deep in the trenches here, and unfortunately, they're missing some of the very key, I would say the very key actions that actually will move the needle quite significantly more than some of the habits that people tend to focus on. So, if you're watching live or if you're watching replay, be sure to comment hashtag live or hashtag replay. Stay tuned for this one. I'm going to chat with you guys a little bit more in depth as to which things you should be focusing on more for nutrition structure and how to get rid of some of the myths and misnomers that kind of keep you trapped and entangled in a position where you're not really getting results. And this is what I see more often than anything, where people are eating all of the right things, all the healthy things, and they're missing the forest through the trees. They don't get what really causes the scale to move or what really causes body fat to be burned or to release. So what happens is people tend to focus on all of these rules and regulations that they have heard over the years of what it means to be eating clean or what it means to eat an appropriate diet or a healthy diet or a fit diet. The problem is that all of these rules and regulations get tossed into one. Some of them serve a purpose, but with the right syntax, meaning that it needs to be something in the right order for the right, I would say, for the right person or the right scenario. Sometimes people hear those things that work for someone else and didn't realize that thing worked because of the situation that they were in. And unfortunately, this is where people start going, well, if it worked for them, it's got to work for me. And it becomes monkey see, monkey do. Now, the problem with this is that what happens is people start living this lifestyle of cutting out things, reducing things that they enjoy, and setting themselves up for a life of deprivation. So one of two things happens with this. If you've deprived yourself enough of calories, you're going to start losing body fat. One of two things will happen at this point. You're feeling deprived, but you're losing weight, so you're going to continue to push yourself because you're noticing that you're feeling better and you're looking better. That's a possibility. The other possibility is that you're going to be pushing yourself, getting results, but feeling miserable and deprived because you're not getting foods that you enjoy. You're feeling like you're hungry at times, and you're feeling like all you're eating is foods that you don't really enjoy. So you're creating this negative neuroassociation to food. This is how we create disordered eating. And so, unfortunately, this scenario ends up leading to people feeling so deprived that one of two things happens. When they start getting results, they reward themselves with their old bad behaviors. Okay, this is where it's like, yay, you've done so well, I'm gonna have a pizza. Yes, I've done so great, I'm gonna have a whole thing of Reese's. Now again, there's nothing inherently wrong with either of those foods. The general principle that I'm getting to is that because you're feeling deprived, not because you're craving something, not because of the fact that you've made room for it, but simply because you feel deprived, you find yourself getting yourself out of alignment with what you know will work for you. And this happens because you don't have nutrition structure. What you have is dieting regulations and rules. And unfortunately, where these can lead to some results, usually if you're not even sure why you're getting the results, it's not going to be very repeatable, meaning that it's not going to be easy for you to make a habit out of this lifestyle that you're trying to make happen. So what's the solution here? What do we need to focus on versus what we tend to focus on? Well, I'm glad you asked that. So a couple different things. Number one, you need to understand very first and foremost what energy balance is. If you're going to understand nutrition and understand how to lose weight, you must understand energy balance. Energy balance, simply put, is what is known as calories in versus calories out. Yes, there are additional layers to that. What I mean is that I'm not going to get into the thermic effect of food. I'm not going to get into basal metabolic rate. All of these things that can affect the rate that we burn calories or the rate that we are consuming them or storing fat. I'm not going to talk about that today. Just understand that energy balance is simply adjusting the amount of calories that you burn or expend, or adjusting the amount of calories that you consume or eat. The thing of it is that when we adjust these and we create what's known as an energy gap, that energy gap, which is the distance at which you burn body fat and the distance and what your calories are actually, you're going to notice body fat being lost. So what I mean is simply this. if it takes for you 3,000 calories to maintain your body weight, you are at an equal energy balance. You are maintaining your body weight. If we go to what's known as a negative energy balance, which seems like an oxymoron, but a negative energy balance is where we've expended more calories or reduced calories that you're consuming. And by doing that, now what's happening is you are now, let's say one of two things. If 3,000 calories maintains your body weight, you're either consuming less than that, let's say 2,500, which is going to cause you to burn fat, or you're consuming 3,000, but you're burning 3,500, which is causing you to burn 500 calories as well. Either way, it doesn't matter. It does matter for your lifestyle, of course. You don't want to be constantly trying to burn off everything that you're eating. But the fact is, which I will be talking about with exercise structure, but the fact is that if you focus on what matters most, which is energy balance, understanding how many calories a day do I need, and then how many calories should I be consuming to either gain muscle or to lose body fat, one of those two things. That is where you start. The second place from where you start is going to be how many macronutrients do I need? Meaning what protein, what carbs, what fiber, and what fats do I need within those calories to still reach my goal? Now you might be thinking, yeah, but if you just said it's calories in versus calories out, why do I even need to focus on that? Well, calories in versus calories out is the main essence of what causes you to lose body fat from the foundation. But it is not only our goal to lose body fat, it's our goal to keep you healthy, to keep you to where you enjoy your life, and to make sure that you're building muscle and that you're nourished. How do we do that? Well, once we focus on calories in versus calories out, our foundation, now we focus on macronutrient balance. Well, one of the things that we teach is specifically to focus on making sure that your protein is somewhere between 0.8 to 1.2 grams of protein per pound, not of body weight, of lean body mass. There's a big difference there. Body weight is going to cause you might be eating 300 grams of protein. It might be difficult for you to get all of that in, not to mention the fact that it's not entirely necessary. So the point with this is that when you're focusing on calories first, and then you focus on macronutrients, your protein, your carbs, your fiber, your fats, this is what's going to lead to a healthier and more sustainable lifestyle, and it's going to help to fuel your workouts, your mindset, keep your hormones balanced, the whole 9 yards. That all happens from your macronutrients. Now, once we have reached your macronutrients and we get those dialed in, and I mean that you're building a good habit, that is only when we start focusing on the next layer, which is your micronutrients, your vitamins, your minerals, making sure that you're actually consuming the right things for not just your fat loss or muscle, but for long-term health. Making sure that you're eating and consuming the things that fight off and stave off cancer, making sure that you're doing things that allow your immune system and your nervous system to be at top notch. These are all things that nobody considers usually when thinking of nutrition, because most people have one thing in mind: will I lose weight? Well, that's the reason that most people only see results for 60 to 90 days and it comes back. Why? Because you're only looking at how do I lose weight as quickly as possible by any means possible. And what I encourage is actually thinking about going and figuring out these layers: my calories, my macronutrients, my micronutrients. Once I've got that, then I can perfect other areas. But if you are caught up worrying about meal timing, worrying about micro and macronutrients before you fix your calories, you are unfortunately spreading yourself too thin, wasting your energies and efforts on things that simply don't move the needle. So the fact is that if you start focusing on areas that not only require less energy, but will move the needle faster and further on your weight loss journey or your fitness journey, whatever journey you're on, you're going to find that your new habits that you're trying to make stick, you're going to find that they're going to stick a lot easier. Why? Because everything you're doing is rewarding you with positive reinforcement, meaning that you're getting the rewards, you're getting the payouts for doing these things, but you're not worrying about all the micronutrients and meal timing and all these things that usually cause people to feel like they're doing too much. So if you can start with the basics, the minimums, the foundation of your nutrition structure, now instead of following some sort of dieting habits that lead to self-sabotage, now you've got a structure to align yourself with. Now, with that being said, If you're wanting to learn a couple more things, such as like, do carbs matter and how much, which diet is really best for my goals, what's really most important to keep in mind for losing weight and keeping it off, these are things that you're going to learn inside of my quiz. If you go to the my quiz, it's a fitness alignment quiz, and it is lancecronecoaching.com/quiz. This will give you a fitness alignment strategy and help you to figure out if your nutrition or exercise or which area of your critical elements will need help. And what's going to happen for you is it's going to give you a couple of little mini strategies to start figuring out, or to, I shouldn't say figuring out, to start actually getting used to is probably a better way to say that. But these little things are going to start moving the needle on the scale, or inches of body fat, or putting on muscle if you're following those. So I want to give you that for free. Go to lancecronecoaching.com/quiz and you can get your free fitness alignment strategy. And if you have any questions, let me know on that. I hope that this has resonated. The thing of it is that when you start focusing on the right areas of nutrition, you're focusing on the big picture instead of all the rules and regulation. Number one, you're going to have way more satiety. My clients, myself, Lauren, we get Reese's, we get ice cream, we enjoy pizza. Guys, if you're eating this way and losing weight, can you see how you don't really necessarily usually crave or have the cravings to cheat off of your diet or off of your plan? There's nothing to cheat from, because the things that you would normally cheat with, you already get in the plan. That's the amazing thing about this. And so instead of trying to convince yourself not to eat the ice cream, all you're trying to do is let yourself know, like, all right, I'm craving ice cream. How much can I have today based on my macronutrient budget or my calorie budget? And that's what we teach. And even if that sounds rigid or ritualistic, I promise you, it's basically just a learning system. Just like whenever you're first learning your finance, your budget, how to get in better habits, you're simply just tracking your food to make sure that what you think you're eating is what you're actually eating. When we do this, it allows us, when we hit what other people call plateaus, what we know is actually just numbers stalling out. We simply adjust your macros, or we adjust your caloric output, and hey, guess what? No more plateau, you start losing weight again. So for years, we've always made the joke to say that, like, if your coach or trainer is telling you that you have reached a plateau, then you probably don't have a good trainer or coach. Again, I'm not trying to be rude or mean. I'm just making the point that if you are buying into the fact that, or buying into the, I shouldn't even say the fact, but if you're buying into the narrative that if you're not eating clean 24/7, and if you're not, constantly making sure that everything is perfect, that you're not going to get results, you're buying into the wrong things. So I hope this has helped you guys. The fact is that this stuff is what keeps my clients not only in shape for a little bit, but for life. They're not learning, Lance tells me to eat this. They're learning specifically how to choose foods and what they do, and understanding what matters versus what doesn't. So if you're interested in that, if you're looking for that food freedom, for the quality of life, and not just that, but to take your life to the next level and to get your life back, your confidence back, click the link on the quiz, take the quiz, and you'll also see an opportunity to schedule a free strategy fitness alignment call with me, which is 60 minutes of me going over your strategies, helping you determine what your best outcome and your best strategy for your struggles, your goals, and your body type as well. So nevertheless, guys, I hope that this has helped you. If you feel like this has been something that was valuable or it resonated with you, put hashtag